Okay, babe, how do I know if I am setting expectations instead of living from expectancy?
All right. Hello and welcome to Coil Coaching Thriving One. We're so glad to be with you guys today.
Yes, we are.
We are.
We have a couple announcements. Obviously, we have been talking about the Coil Coaching Women this last couple podcasts, and there has been a delay in launching it. There's a few things that came up, but wanted to remind you, for those of you who are listening and watching, that it is still happening. So once we work out the kinks and all other details, there's going to be an announcement. And so if you want to receive an email from us, updates on that and other things going on with Coil Coaching, feel free to email us at info@coilcoaching.com, or you can visit our website at coilcoaching.com.
We're a .com.
We're a
Wow.
.com.
We're
yes.
somebody now.
Yes.
We're special.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested or know someone that could avail of or use
our coaching services,
life consulting, which is more of on the counseling level.
Yes.
Reach out to us, shoot them our information. We'd love to meet with you.
Yes.
Or somebody you know.
We do. So we also, just to give a little bit of a quick thing here, like we do one-on-ones. We also do group mentoring and group coaching. I also do some training, like I certified DISC workshop instructor. So I've also done some workshops for leadership teams. So if you want, if you have a retreat somewhere, or you just want to empower your team, feel free to reach out, and there's also a lot of information obviously on that on our website. But we just wanted to let you guys know that we're here for you.
For sure. We love it. Yeah, we're really finding our space of passion in this season, our calling in this season. Because it's interesting how season to season things shift, they change, they mature. And so it's been fun taking risk and following God on this journey. And I'm glad I'm doing it with you.
I know, me too.
All right, let's do this. Yes. So this is actually part 2. Last time we chatted with you guys, we started a conversation around how to set healthy goals.
Yes.
And so this is going to be part 2 of how to set healthy goals. And last time there's a few key elements that we talked about. In setting healthy goals, that is, there was 2 key things that I said right away, and that was being realistic. And being, what was the other one?
Flexible.
Being realistic and being flexible. I'm not going to go into detailed on those things, because you can go back, you can listen to the other one. I think it's only about a 30 minute video. It was really good. So if you haven't, I would say go back and listen to that before listening to this one, or just jump into this one. It's totally fine. But in setting healthy goals, having the appropriate perspective when setting goals, and we kind of started this off because it's the beginning of the year. People are setting personal goals, maybe family goals. So maybe around your health, around losing weight, or around exercising, or kind of want to get out of the funk, the COVID funk. Maybe you got sick and you want to get back into a routine, and so you're starting to set goals at the beginning of this year. It's so important that we allow there to be lots of flexibility within those goals, and to be realistic. So it's something that you can actually accomplish and carry momentum into finishing or keeping a rhythm of life going. And so being realistic and flexible is key to that. With flexibility, I started talking about a topic about recognizing expectations versus expectancy. And when I said a lot of times when we set goals, we set this expectation, and expectations can be a very rigid, very cement. Like it has to happen this way, or this is the thing that I'm going to that's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, or a hiccup happens along the way to slow down towards reaching your goal, it can be very demoralizing.
Or
disappointing, definitely. And it can slow down or stop the progress to actually reaching the goal, or being in a rhythm of cultivating whatever you're wanting to go after. If it's about maybe losing weight, exercising, family goals, time management. And then the other thing is life's more about having an expectancy.
Yes.
And I just want to read the definition that I like around expectancy. Expectancy is the state or thinking or hoping that something, especially something good or pleasant, will happen or be the case.
Right.
And I think of hope when I think of that. And when I think of hope, I like the definition of hope of a feeling or expectation or expectancy and desire for a certain thing to happen. Or my favorite one is a joyful expectancy that good will happen.
That's awesome.
And in setting goals, having that realistic, flexible goal in your life is key. And then having a perspective, a proper perspective towards setting it and pursuing that goal. You want it should be full of what I call fun. It should be full of expectancy of good. And so with that, it's not like I'm holding on to it. It has to look like this.
Right.
I'm setting a goal and saying, I'm going to allow for flexibility of life to happen in the midst of it. And if I get off rhythm a little bit, then I'll pick right back up. But discouragement, a lot of times when we miss a mark in the journey, can really derail us from stepping into the goal, the desired outcome that you're looking to have in your life, whatever that might be.
Right. And I think the flexibility part of it is so key to receiving your breakthrough, not just meeting your goal, and we had a phrase that we used it in our last podcast, blessed are the flexible,
right?
For they shall not break, but they will bring breakthrough.
Right.
So the flexibility part of setting the goals can actually not just help you meet your goals, but actually also give you breakthrough in areas of your life or your belief system about yourself, a discovery about yourself that could actually bring breakthrough and healing.
Right.
So that's why it's so key and important to be flexible and to make room for mistakes, make room for challenges, and make room for certain things to happen that may have come up that's unexpected.
Right.
So anyway, I'm excited to dive into this part too. I think, my husband, Matt, here has a wealth of knowledge and experience with this kind of stuff. So
a wealth. I told my story last time, my wealth of how to not do it well stories.
So this part is probably will encourage you guys with something.
And be more practical.
Too. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot, or at least Matt does, how do I know? Okay, babe, how do I know if I am setting expectations instead of living from expectancy? Because it's like the obvious one, like, okay, we talked about what expectation is and expectancy. So what's the difference,
Yeah. So in relation to goal setting, it's not about perfection. Like perfectly being an expectation or perfectly being an expectancy. It's a mindset of nurturing the experience and recognizing where you're at. And with grace and kindness toward yourself,
that's good.
Making adjustments when needed. So it's about giving yourself space to be where you are and to grow from there.
Right.
So if you recognize that you are not where you want to be, meet that disappointment with care and kindness and be realistic. There's that word again. Be realistic with where you are at and simply rework your goal to meet you where you are and growing from there. So it's about, in setting goals, ultimately it's about growing.
Yes.
So growing from where you're at now, I want to lose this much weight. I want to start working out and accomplishing this. I want to set these life goals. I want to read the Bible. I want to read these many books. It's like being realistic, meeting yourself where you're at. So you might be like excited, like I think I mentioned before, like I was, sometimes when I go to work out or I transition and I'm like, okay, I need to start working out. I'm like, I want to go today. I'm going to run 5 miles. And I go out there and I try to run 5 miles at a pace that I used to run at.
Right. Okay.
So maybe it's like a 7-minute mile. I'm out there and run a 7-minute mile. And I'm like struggling to even run at a 9-minute mile. And I start really experiencing pain somewhere in my body at mile 2.
Yeah.
I can't expect to be where I used to be.
Right.
I need to be sensitive to where I'm at in the now.
That's good. That's good.
It's so key that we recognize actually where we're at, setting that realistic goal. And sometimes you can set a goal, and as soon as you get into it, you'll be like, ooh, man, I can't run that pace anymore. I can't do this anymore, or life is coming in. So it's okay to have a sense of expectation, but expectancy is more of a mindset of I'm kind of holding this desire lightly, recognizing that life, wife and kids and work might interrupt it. And so that flexibility is so key.
Yes.
And
that's
so
amazing, babe.
Yeah. So the goal isn't reaching the goal. The goal is the growing towards the goal.
That's really good.
And the time frame might change.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where some disappointment can come in is, I didn't reach the goal in the time that I wanted to. Well, have you gotten at least here? Have you grown?
Yep.
That is what you want to celebrate.
Right.
And that's something that we do very strategically within coaching people, consulting with people, is helping them recognize the little things.
Right.
So I call myself, my role as a coach is to celebrate and to support.
That's good. That's good.
Something that we teach our coaches that are getting trained under our programs is like, keep it simple. Like your role is to support. And there's a lot of things that go into that aspect, but to celebrate. You're here saying like, hey, look at the progress you made. Because when I look at the progress that I haven't made, it's demoralizing.
Right.
Discouraging.
Yeah.
But when I focus on the progress I have made and make adjustments within the process, then I experience joy. I experience that happiness. I experience that expectancy to continue growing.
That's really good. I think the key aspects, like from what you've said so far, is flexibility helps with the disappointment. The flexibility, and obviously the realistic part of it is that, yes, you set your goals, and then when you're met with some sort of a disruption or something where, I'm not where I used to be, or, whatever, the what ifs, and I think a couple of the key things is how to take care of yourself when you are in that space of experiencing disappointment.
Yeah.
And the kindness, I love that. Being kind to yourself, show kindness. If you can show kindness to others, you can show kindness to yourself.
Right.
That's really good.
Right.
So
and kind of on that, it's funny that we're our worst enemy.
Yeah. We're harder on ourselves.
Right. We're harder on ourselves.
Our own worst critic.
Our own worst critic. That's the word I wanted to use. Was, you might have heard this before,
right?
And used, but it's the inner critic, right? So the inner critic is something that's been nurtured, something we've nurtured in our life through trying to force ourselves to do what we need, want, or are required to.
Right.
Come on, you can do this. Try harder, instead of positioning ourselves with God's heart, with a heart of love and compassion, and not saying like, oh, it's okay, you don't have to do it. It's saying, hey, that was hard. That was difficult. So kindness, acknowledging the difficulty of the situation and saying, I am with you, Matt. So like me, I'm talking to myself, Matt, I'm with you.
Right.
You are, you're smart, you're intelligent. This is a hard situation.
Yeah.
Let's move forward together.
Good.
Not criticizing, that kind of like that forcing aspect, but saying, let's be inspired with kindness and grace to move forward. And in some ways, we can't get away without having some kind of expectation when setting a goal.
Yeah.
But if your emotions are weighing you down in the aftermath of discovering you can't meet your goal, that goal is too rigid.
Yeah.
And it has become a law for you. And that's what I talked about last time with expectations.
Right.
Expectations become this perfectionistic law that it has to happen this way.
Yep.
So if you're experiencing discouragement, it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's a part of being aware.
Yeah. I think that's so important, like the expectations has something to do with the outward things that you can quantify versus the expectancy is really what's going on inside of you.
Right.
That triggers how you do things, how you see things, how you experience things. So that's really good, and obviously, like what you said, emotions are a part of it, because we can't deny, like if we didn't meet our goals, there's going to be a form of discouragement. There's going to be a form of disappointment in there. So, babe, like share with us a little bit, like how do emotions help us in reaching our goals?
Yeah.
In this scenario.
I think this is kind of funny in some ways, because a lot of times we wouldn't think of emotions being an important part of goal setting.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever in maybe some leadership trainings or anything like that, never hearing about emotions. But because a lot of times emotions, let's say on the negative spectrum, negative emotions are something you avoid, you don't like. It's a reminder that you're not good enough, maybe, or, so it's not something that's talked about. But if you understand the role that emotions play during the journey of your life in general, but in the role that it plays in recognizing what's needed when you are moving through your journey towards your goal.
Right.
So actually, emotions give us the best cue of where we are at.
Oh, I like that.
What does that mean? Simply put, when you're moving forward, there are certain requirements and needs that come up in your life.
Yeah.
And those needs, when they're not met, so in this way, maybe reaching a small goal. So let's say I'm wanting to run a marathon and I didn't reach my 10-mile goal that I wanted to this week. Well, in that journey of the short term, maybe goals and stages, if I'm experiencing some kind of emotion, like a negative spectrum, discouragement, disappointment, if I don't interact with those emotions and know how to, they will demotivate me to continue, or I can get stuck in a cycle of experiencing those emotions.
Yeah.
So emotions give us a cue of a symptom that's going on within our hearts, within our souls. And if I can listen to those emotions and then give them what they need, it'll pop me right back into the space of motivation.
That's good. That's a good way to put it.
And so what does that look like? So let's say I'm feeling off. I'm feeling a discouragement.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sometimes we'll just ignore it. So I used to be a pro ignorer, a pro number, a pro avoider to my negative emotions.
Right.
And what I've learned over the many years of making mistakes, and then finally learning my lesson and growing and getting a different skill set, is that our negative emotions are letting us know that we need something.
Right. Oh, yes.
So in kind of what I mentioned before about meeting our discouragement with kindness.
Oh, I love it.
That's key. So if I'm feeling anxious or discouraged about where I'm at in my journey of reaching my goal, I need to stop.
Yeah.
And so I call my negative emotions red light emotions.
Right.
Red light emotions simply to me means stop.
That's good.
Like we would stop at a at a street light.
Yes.
If I come up to a street light and it's green, green light emotions, happy, joy, we're good.
Yes.
We've got the motivation, we're moving forward.
Right.
But when I experience a red light emotion, discouragement, disappointment, I need to stop and ask it.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Okay.
So it's not an outward. So I used to think emotions were external, or someone did something and made me feel this, but the reality, and I explain this in my course, Leading the Heart, like it's an internal experience that I'm creating. These emotions I'm creating. Right. And in this example, I'm discouraged because I haven't maybe met one of my short-term goals. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. So it's like for somebody like me, you know, when I'm driving, it's kind of like you mentioned it, like the stoplight, right? So there's red, and then there's yellow, and then there's green, and each of those colors tell me as a driver what to do.
Correct.
So if you compare our emotions as red and green light, that means they're not bad.
Right.
Like they're maybe negative and positive, but they're not necessarily overarchingly bad. Right. Because me as a driver, if I was on a stoplight, if there was a red light, then I would just know, okay, I need to stop.
Totally.
Because if I go, I may, one or two things. Number one, hit a car, hit a person, maybe person, or get hit by a car myself. So either way, there's going to be chaos, not just for me, but the people around me. So, you know, me looking at that, like, wow, emotions are not bad. You know, they're an indicator.
Right.
They let us know that red light, you need to stop. Green light, you can go.
We're good.
Yep.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the red light emotion, if you're experiencing it, there's many different processes to move through that experience to get back into the space of motivation. Yeah. But the key one that I'm wanting to leave is like, we need to be our own best friend.
Oh, I use that too. I love it.
I wonder where you got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we need to be our own best friend. And simply what that means is if that inner critic is coming up, that's an indication that you need to adjust into kindness and grace. And what does that look like? So let's say an example. I'm not meeting a short-term goal. I wasn't able to run the 10 miles I was expecting this week. So I'm feeling down about it, feeling discouraged.
Yeah.
That's slowing down my motivation to move forward. So I would talk to myself. I would talk to my heart, inner world, however you want to address your soul. Okay. Yeah. A subconscious is like, hey, we didn't reach our goal this week. Man, we're feeling it. We're feeling a little discouraged and disappointed.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Matt, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think so. Acknowledging it and validating is really key.
Good.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to ignore you. You're there. Yeah. You're talking. You need something. So I need to interact you with kindness and grace.
That's good.
Hey, disappointment, discouragement. I hear you. I'm with you. And it looks like we need to make a flexible adjustment so that we can get back into a space of motivation and momentum.
Yeah, that's really good.
So inner space, world, heart, Matt, it's okay. We're going to try again next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to see where we're at. And then if we need to make an adjustment, we will. Yeah. And maybe we need to adjust out our marathon distance a little bit farther.
Yeah.
Because we want to take care of our body.
Yeah.
We want to respect it. We want to respect our journey.
That's really good. Wow.
And I want to speaking about running, because I use running examples because I love running. Yes. I love a famous runner, Ryan Hall. He's an Olympic marathon runner.
Right.
Now coach. He recently made a post about this process. So I would say this is more around the expectancy, enjoying the process instead of being rigid and like, okay, did I meet it? Did I not? This is what he said. He said, hold goals lightly with childlikeness, like a fun thing that is that I am chasing. like a butterfly in the field that is going all over the place. I may or may not catch it, but I'm loving the pursuit of it. It's keeping it fun. Keeping it fun keeps me motivated and captivated by things. And so this kind of like, it's a mindset that I'm nurturing the experience as I move, as I'm growing.
Yeah.
We set goals to grow, but we need to be realistic. We need to be flexible. We need to recognize if this goal is too rigid, and if I'm not enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, so there's that emotion piece again. Okay. Now I might not enjoy some of the days getting going in the morning. I'm like, whoa. But once I get going, I'm like, yes.
Motivated.
Yes. Motivated. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So keeping that, I like the phrase he used, the childlikeness. Keep it fun. Chase after it. Because it's not always about reaching the goal. It's really, isn't it, about the journey?
Also about the pursuit.
It's about the pursuit.
The pursuit. And then you become captivated by the pursuit.
So good.
That's really good. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had a great time and also learned some stuff. And like what we said in the beginning, obviously this is just like more of like a skeleton structure of what we do at Coil Coaching. And so if you're in this space, we invite you to get a hold of us, and we would love to help you. We would love to help put you into a package, that's fit for you guys. And we are here to help you not just reach your goals, but also show you that the pursuit and the journey of getting to the goal itself is also a part of the learning process.
Yeah.
So we invite you to, get a hold of us, info@coilcoaching.com, as well as our website at coilcoaching.com.
And until next time, keep thriving.
Yay!